It is certainly a cold day. Winter has arrived. Just walking down the street here and seen this poster. There's an open day in Dacre Wood. Not quite sure where that is. On Saturday between 1 and 4. If I'm free, I'll go and look at it. Look how beautiful this sunshine is. Nothing better than sunshine on a frosty morning. It is currently round about 10:30 and it feels that it's -1. It is certainly frosty. There are people out and about. Hold on, the rubbish cart is passing. Collecting all the rubbish. There are people out and about scraping their cars to get the frost off, and I have come out without my bobble hat on. I'm not going to be out for long. Just wanted to go for a walk, stretch the old back. I'm sort of trying to get used to getting up and going out in the morning to have a walk, because this is what I would like to do when I finally move to Wales. I had a comment this morning from somebody, and it was along the lines of, I'm worried for you going back to Wales. You're not going back to what you knew, you're going back to a new area. And I think this person was in the States. And it riled me a bit, because I have given this a lot of thought. A lot more has gone into this than you've seen on the video. Mainly because it's boring stuff to try and work out houses and work out the bus routes and everything. Because yes, things have changed since I've been gone. But the fundamental, the mountains are still there, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going back. But the main reason is that I can no longer afford to be in London. So, as much as some people say, oh, I think you should stay, then I can't. And just to give a recap, because there's been so many videos over the last few weeks that people have missed some of the story. So I was going to, so the house I'm in now is too expensive. I can't afford it, and I'm only able to afford it at the moment by cutting down on the amount of money that I spend on food. And it's a weird thing, but when you go for a day without eating, you don't seem to lose any weight. You seem to put weight on because your body is storing the fat, because it doesn't know when the next meal is going to come. So thinking, trying to hold on, let me change the camera. There you go. So thinking, look on the positive side of things and go, oh, this is a way to lose weight. Then it's not. To lose weight, you need good food, but on a regular basis, so that your body knows it doesn't have to store the fat. It can let go of it because it knows at 2 o'clock there's food about to come. Just climbing up a hill. See, there's somebody scratching their car there. So even if I wanted to stay, I couldn't. Now, some clever dicks might say, well, you can go and get a job. But doing YouTube is my job. And I think I've reached the ceiling with it. I don't think that me living in London, going to the plot, is enough of an interest to garner new people to come. And plus, I'm bored of it. I'm bored that my life is just going to the plot and making videos just about that. I've done that for 12 years. Want something a bit more interesting. It's like my life at the moment is as if I've retired, but I haven't. And I feel that I have a lot more to offer the world and to get involved in community projects and bring my skills into that. So I think it's time for a shake-up. Also, approaching 50 is a good time to do that. Get ready for the next stage, because I'm not dead yet. There's still at least another 15 years left if the body keeps strong. He said while he clambers up a hill. And plus, when you leave your house in the morning, it's much nicer to go for a walk on the mountainside than it is just to walk through the streets of London. So be safe in the knowledge that I've given this a lot of thought. And when I was looking for a house a couple of weeks ago, and I went down to Happy Valley, which is in southeast London, down Purley Way. I went down there and I saw this house. Beautiful place it was. And he was okay with the cats being there. He had his own cat. And I walked around the little town there, and I thought, could I see myself here? Could I see myself making a life here? And I could. But then I sort of thought, is this where I want to end my days? Because I could see that even if I had moved to Purley, I was going to move again one more time. And I just thought, if I'm going to go to the hassle of the stress of moving and the stress of moving the cats, I may as well just bypass that and go to the place where I want to end my days. So this is in Wales. We interrupt this broadcast for a special announcement. I had an email off a viewer yesterday, in fact, saying, Sean, I'm aware you have a Patreon account where people can support you every month for a few pounds and get extra videos, extra pictures and extra thoughts and feelings. But I don't want to commit to something like that, but I want to thank you for all the hours of time you've put into making these videos from over the years. So I said, I have a PayPal account where you can drop a little donation there. And she said, because of an issue with truck drivers in Canada, she no longer supports PayPal. So I'm not sure what that is about. So she suggested that I set up something called Buy Me a Coffee. Now, I don't like coffee, but I do like a cup of tea. So I have set it up, and I'll put the links in the video description below. So if you would like to buy me a tea as a thank you for all the hours of videos that I've produced this year, then now you can. And I thank you very much indeed, especially on these cold days. We all need a warm cup of tea. Now let us return to our broadcast. So that's how Wales came on the agenda, and then I started to look into it and saw how many opportunities appear to be in Wales, especially in 2024. Now, obviously, my outgoings for the rent and things will not be as expensive down there, and in fact, for what I pay in London, I pay £8.50 for a room in London. For only £600, I could get a 3-bedroom house in Wales. I don't want a 3-bedroom house. A 1-bedroom house or 2-bedroom house would suit me down to the ground. But if that's all that's on offer is a 3-bed, then I'll go for a 3-bed until I can find something else. And somebody said, you need to take into account bills, because at the moment my bills are included. And it's like, yeah, I have thought about all this. You know, I did go to university. I am aware of how to do an analysis of changing things and to look into all the costs and things. So I've already done that, and yes, it might work out a bit more expensive with council tax and everything. But the calculations that I've done tells me that it's not going to be as expensive as being in London. And plus, if I'm in a house by myself, I can control things more. So if I find that the gas is a bit too much, I could just switch the gas off, not use gas, and just use electric. Or even do it like the old-fashioned way, like the miners. They might have had a 2 or 3 bedroom house, but they only lived in like the kitchen and the living room. Plus, if I'm there by myself, I can control it. I have more control about my future, rather than at the moment the heating comes on at a certain time and goes off at a certain time. I can't control that, so I have to put up with maybe being cold when I want to be warm, and also being warm when I want to be cold, because it comes on at the wrong times for me. In the evening, I like to feel a bit colder as I go to bed rather than feeling hot. So having my own space will allow me to control it and to control my own future. I'm just hesitating because I'm about to come to the main high street where it's a bit noisier, and I know it's very difficult to do this. Look at this house here. I quite like the architecture of those stone stairs going up. Reminds me of Manchester. So yeah, let's go back down here. So yes, before I decided on Wales, I did look at Manchester because I lived in Manchester. I even contemplated in Scotland, and the advantages for me of going back to the place where I was born was I know the area. The area is the same. The mountains are not going to change, and as much as there's no family there, there are people there that I know from 30 years ago, and I've already been in contact with them. They're still there. They're still healthy. So be rest assured that thought has gone into this, and you might have only seen me talk about this for the last few weeks or the last few months, but in reality I've been thinking about it for years. And I think in life you've got to, I believe in the universe, and sometimes the universe speaks to you, and I've had that a lot over the last couple of months. It's as if I'm being told, you know, this is what your life is now. Go into the plot, doing videos, going home. Is that what you want it to be in another 10 years' time? Now, some of you might say you could get involved in projects in London. And I've tried, and I have been involved in things, but it's just different. It's different because you were always seen as the outsider, because you never lived here. And we have this in Wales a bit. When somebody from England goes to Wales, the joke is, oh, they've got to be here for 15 years before they're regarded as a local. So I've never felt that I've really fitted in London as much as I've tried. And I know people have said to me, oh, but you've got a community in London. You go to George, like I'll probably go to George's now and have a tea. You go to George's, you got the people down the allotment site. You got a handful of friends, That's true. But is that enough though? You know, is going to the cafe and having a chin wag with a few people? Because at the end of the day, when I'm on the floor and I can't get up, like what happened the other year when my back gave way and I was on the floor round about this time of year, in fact, and I couldn't move. I was there for a good 25 minutes and people just passed, and I haven't got those type of friendships where you could phone, you know, I couldn't phone George from the cafe and said, I'm on the floor, can you come and help? It's getting very cold now. Can you come and help? It's not that type of a friendship. So I think you've got to be hard sometimes, you know. Is that worth it? Now obviously I'm going to miss these people, but there are new friendships to be had, and who knows, maybe a new relationship to be had, because the last relationship was about, can't even think, about 12 years ago. Because it's very difficult to form anything in London, just because people are, and this is what I did, people come to London for the jobs. So they come for the job, then they spend all their time in work, they come home and they're exhausted on the weekend, so they don't do anything, so they go. And back in the day you would meet somebody in work, but with everything going on these days, if I was in an office environment, I'd be scared to smile at anybody because you might be accused of something. So people who come to London tend to come here for work, they make their money and then they go again. So it's very difficult to build anything that's going to last more than a fortnight. It's a beautiful house here, look. Bit of architecture there. I do love a bit of architecture. So as much as the community is good, it's not enough to keep me here. And it takes a while to realise that. I have an acquaintance down the road here, and she's going through the same thing. I think the train's about to pass. She's going through the same thing where she was thinking about moving. Look at that. Also, I've been in London for so long that I can now go around and go, I remember when that was a field. Those houses are brand new. So yes, I know somebody who has been thinking about leaving herself. I spoke to her the other day and she said that the community here was too much of a pull and she wanted to stay. You know, she likes bumping into people. It's like, well, I like bumping into people and having a chat on the street, but are they going to come when you need a hand? I know if I'd collapsed in the street in Wales, people would have been there to help, whereas up here people just looked down and thought, he's drunk, carried on walking. So maybe this move has been coming for quite a few years. I just feel I've got a lot to give. I just feel I've got a lot to give a community, and that's not being used as effective as it should here in London. So I have a list of things that I'm going to do when I go back, and it's quite exciting. In 2024, so they have this thing in Wales called the Eisteddfodau, singing Celtic competition, where people from all over the world come and have a look, where they showcase the best of Wales. A bit like the Festival of Britain was, but on a smaller scale. They turn up with this tent called the Mice. Not the mice as in, MAES. And they do a competition where they accept people into the bard and they give them a chair. It's an ancient thing. And that's come into the area that I'm going to move to in 2024. And it travels around the country, and wherever it goes, it brings a load of investment in, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Well, that's in my area of Pontypridd, where Tom Jones was born, in 2024. So I'm already in talks with them about doing some things. And I have a view that if you go somewhere and the language is different, you should learn the language. When I went to Spain, I learned a bit of Spanish. And I knew a bit of Welsh as a child, but my father knew the old Welsh. So there's Old Welsh and there's the New Welsh. And so I do know a bit of Welsh, but again, I think if you're going back, learn a bit. So I am currently starting that again from scratch with my mot ar y basket, bore da, Sean y fi, croeso nos da. So I think it's good to get a bit of the language under your belt, especially if it's the place where you were born. And obviously the government is different there, so I have had to research all about council tax, how the buses work there, how the government works there. So there's a hell of a lot of research has gone into this, and it's difficult to explain. There is something called hiraeth, and there is no English translation for this word, but it's a pull. It's a pull. It's an emotional calling to go back to the motherland, and that's what I'm feeling at the moment. Is a pull to go back and be surrounded by my own people, and to help them, and to take the knowledge that I've learned in the 20 plus years that I've been away, to take that back and to get involved with projects and to use that experience and to help make a better place for everybody down there, because it's a beautiful place, and you'll see it when I go, because I'm going next week. And I'm trying to plan it that I go when the weather's good, because the weather's not that good in Wales. But in London for the last 6 or 7 years, we've had 3 months of solid sunshine. Now you might think that's great, but from a gardening point of view, it isn't. So I'll be interested to see what the weather is like down in Wales. Anyway, I've rambled on quite enough, and I'm approaching George's now, so it's time for a cup of tea. So be safe in the knowledge that a lot of thought has gone into this, and that I know what I'm doing. And who knows, maybe in a year's time I'll be saying to you, this was the wrong thing to do, and I'll come back to London. But if you don't try things, then you are never going to know. But I'm 99% certain that it is the best thing to do for me, and at the end of the day, that is all that matters. Anyway, I will bid you farewell, because a cup of tea is calling. So I will catch up with you next time, and the next time I catch you, it will be Christmas, because today is the last day of Christmas. So from me, until next time, Bye for now.